Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey there, mic check.
We need to see all of my belongings over here. So let me see if I can tidy up a bit. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. It is Thursday, July 29th. You are watching After GMS. I was actually going to say the best of the Good Morning Show.
Well, we are here.
We'll make it the best.
No, we do that segment on Fridays, and it literally is like our hilarious moments. And for some reason,
Your mind was thinking
Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
This moment might make it.
It might. It might. We'll be looking out for it. But this is After GMS. Thanks so much for logging on and chatting with us. We are going to be talking about some interesting things, which you probably already have seen in your headline. But first, let's start with the forecast.
Okay, yesterday we were talking about the 3 H's, right? Hot, humid, and hazy. Today, let's make it the 3 S's. Sticky, steamy, sweltering. Look, you make up your own. It's going to be hot, okay? It's going to be hot. We've been talking about that for several days.
Don't give up, Christian. Don't give up.
Yesterday, by the way, was our 14th day on the year at 90 degrees. I expect today to make 15. We average about 33 of those a year, so there's still plenty of time left to go. Here's the main headlines you need to know as we go throughout the next several days. It's hot, it's humid, feeling like the upper 90s at close to 100 today and tomorrow, but there is some relief on the way for the weekend. A little cooler, a little less humid, and then we head into a cooler and a bit of a wetter weather pattern as we go into early next week. For now, though, high pressure is in control of our weather. That continues to keep us hot, continues to keep us humid, but that cold front up to the north continues to work its way toward us and will cross over North Carolina as we go throughout the day on your Friday. And behind that, high pressure builds in. That does bring the cooler air and the slightly less humid air from the north end, at least for a couple days. But for now, find a way to stay cool today. Anything you can do. Low 90s for those afternoon highs, but once you factor in the humidity, it's going to feel like it's in the upper 90s, close to 100. 98, the feels like temperature around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Some of those locations in the Triad may be able to make it up to that feels like 100 degree heat index. Of course, another reason to stay inside, we have those code yellow air quality alerts in place because you might have noticed some of that smoke and some of that haze back in the Carolinas again from the wildfires out west, and actually made for an interesting sunrise this morning. So keep that in mind. If you have asthma or breathing trouble, you might want to spend a little extra time indoors as opposed to being outdoors over the next couple of days. I know it sounds funny to talk about it being cooler, talk about relief in the upper 80s over the weekend, but it's a far cry from being in the mid 90s, is it not? And that lower humidity will really make all the difference. Saturday looking like a mainly dry day of weather, and then we have a little better chance for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Staying a little cooler, low 80s, but heading into that wetter weather pattern with a decent chance for showers and thunderstorms each day going into next week, guys.
All right, so yesterday it felt every bit of 90-some
Bad.
degrees. Yeah, it was so hot. So basically we've got 3 more days of that.
Yeah, basically. 2 more.
Two more.
Today
Today
and
and
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Okay. All right, we'll make it.
Hang in there.
We'll
got
hang
it.
in there.
We got this.
Don't give up on your weather adjectives either. We like them.
I gotta come up with a new letter tomorrow.
We're just going through the alphabet.
We'll figure something out.
T is next, so
Okay.
because you did S today.
Okay, we'll work on it.
All right, let's get to our first conversation here because we want you to be productive, and that's what we're talking about this morning, being productive. Yeah. Where do you go to when you need to get something done? Is it a quiet place at home? Do you need to get out of the house? Let us know in the comment section. So earlier we heard from Kim, who said, my porch with a cup of coffee. Another viewer wrote in and said they are most productive working at home. They say there are too many distractions at the office. And that's interesting because we just had someone weigh in online. Ashley Ellis said, I've been working from home since last March, and that's where she's most productive. Bobby Odom said, on my job. And then Heather Harness just added, I feel working from home, I'm more productive. It's easier to sleep later, get things done during breaks, and get started on dinner right when I'm off. She said, I love it. All right, where are you guys most productive?
And the air conditioning.
In the air, in the AC.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I'm more productive, at least in terms of work here at the TV station, right here in the station. So I was delighted that, last year when most of our co-workers were working from home, it was just me and you there for a long period of time. And I'd yell down the hall, hey, Tracy, good morning.
And
because
I'd say, hey, Ed.
we were doing some major social distancing for sure. And so I'm more productive at the station. If I had to work at home, I'd play with the dog, I'd eat a bag of potato chips, I'd drink some soda, I'd watch TV. I wouldn't be very focused. Now, I can be focused,
Right.
but I'm more focused at work.
Right. There are a lot of distractions at home, but a lot of people say
yeah.
they're distractions here at the office.
There are. I respect that comment about being able to sleep later and then kind of look. If you can do that, more power to you, because I am not disciplined enough to do that. I would end up just sleeping and I said this earlier on the Good Morning Show. Sorry, bosses. But I work circles around myself when I'm here at work. I've always been that person that has to get up in the morning and leave and go somewhere else to kind of get in that mindset and get in that productive mindset.
And I'll have to say, right after he said that, I thought, he's difficult to keep up with.
I thought you were about to say it was difficult to work with.
No, you're easy to work with. You're fun to work with. He's half my age and goes at the speed of lightning. I've already done this. I've already done this. So I can certainly concur that when you get to the station, you're ready to rock and roll.
I just feel like my mind's in it a lot more.
Yeah,
Actually,
I agree.
Honestly,
I agree.
I feel like my forecasting, when I look at all of our data to put the forecast together, I feel like it's better now that I'm back at work than it was at home. Like you said, there's so many distractions. The dog, the TV, the UPS man, the FedEx man. Everybody was ordering from Amazon during the pandemic, so the guy was coming to my house more than enough. So, I mean, there were so many distractions.
Yeah.
But,
Right. Plus, there's not a constant monitoring or check-in system.
Right.
I mean, we're all adults. We can work at our own pace and we can work, efficiently. But when you don't have someone like looking at you, your boss's door isn't open and they're right, in your view or you're in their view, it makes a difference, I think, because you kind of set your own schedule.
I think the brainstorming, too, makes a difference. When
Yeah.
people are here and you're at work, it's easy to collectively get together and work on ideas or kind of put projects together. When you're working from home, obviously we've learned how to communicate in the digital age and through the pandemic, but I still feel like it's much more difficult to do that, and it's a whole lot easier just to kind of walk over and pick somebody's brain about something.
And we're here for a collective purpose here at the TV station, and that's to give you information, news, sports, weather, whatever it may be, so we're all on the same page, and it just kind of gets the creative juices flowing.
Yeah. Even doing, when I was working on my meteorology degree, doing work and homework, I was always one of those people, like, I'd like to go to a coffee shop and sit down and get it done, throw the earbuds in, listen to a little bit of music. That always helped me. Of course, again, being away from that setting where I eat and sleep and all that really helps.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some more comments here. Dana said she likes working at home, no distractions, no traffic. Ashley reminded me that he is a he, and I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for the correction. And then also we heard from, I just lost it, Nadine, who said, I'm less productive working from home, need to get away from all of these crazy boys. She has sons at home. Sharon said, love working from home and get so much more done professionally and personally. And let's see, Sharon said, love working from home, but I do think you need a separate space for work at home.
Right.
So I think that would make the difference. Heather added, when I was at the office, my desk was right behind my supervisors. I was productive at the office too, so it wasn't bad. And that's where my desk is currently located, is in view of our news director. So I'm very productive.
Yeah.
When I'm at my desk. But I think I'm even more productive when I set up in the studio, because I have very few distractions. If someone's walking through, they're like, hey, Tracy, and they keep moving.
Yeah.
Whereas at my desk, it can be, hey, did you see that movie? Like, oh, have you done this yet? And and I start talking. I'm like, oh, my cousin's getting married and she kicked me out. And and then it becomes like a thing.
And you don't mean to get a conversation going. It's just going to be a one-liner, if you will.
You think?
And the next thing you know, you've been talking for 15 minutes, and it's like, wow.
We do that in our corner all the time, because it's me, Megan Malaris, it's Megan Allman, who's our digital producer, who is getting married soon. So we always have things to talk. Megan has a child and I have 3, so we always talk about that.
Yeah.
And then our over side of me is Ty, who's a producer. She just had a birthday and she's worried about not getting married before a certain age. So we always talk about that. I'm just telling everybody's business.
Get to know the newsroom right here.
I like what Jason Hutchins said. Jason, you're my kind of guy. He says, I'm most productive when I'm sleeping. Ha ha. Hey.
Some of those best ideas may come to you.
Absolutely.
I know y'all find this hard to believe, but I'm kind of chatty. So I like to get up and walk around. No, I like to get up and walk around the newsroom because the Weather Center is on the complete opposite end.
Yeah.
And look, and as you guys know, I'm very much into music as well as Eric Chilton. And I don't know if they did this by design. I think I'm on to you now. They separated Eric and I the furthest apart in the newsroom that could possibly be.
That's
so I get
true.
up from the Weather Center and I walk over to the complete opposite side of the room to talk with Eric about music.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I'm still, for the most part, in the wood shop, but occasionally
Keep
I'll
you
go
away from
I'll
everybody.
go into the newsroom and I just kind of float around. I would have to say that you and I are kind of the social guys as far as going around
Definitely.
and talking, but everybody's social here. So yeah, if you can keep your mind on work, you're really good.
Yes, I agree. I was just saying that
Oh, my.
you guys are quite chatty, all the weather dudes. And
Yeah.
our weather shero, Monique, is
Yeah.
also
Love
lovely
her.
to talk with. So yeah, I mean, you guys got it going on.
Yeah.
I just try to.
Is
was
that an
great
invitation
sound
of Tracy
effects.
typing?
That's it. That's it.
All
Let's
right,
move on.
let's go to our headlines, guys. Great conversation. We have another one. We're going to be talking about this heat in just a few seconds. But first, your headlines. And a big announcement could come from Governor Roy Cooper today. He's going to give an update on COVID-19 in our state. The news briefing is set for 3 o'clock today, and we expect to hear his thoughts on the new CDC mask guidelines as North Carolina's mask mandate is set to expire tomorrow. You can watch today's update on WFMY or online on WFMYnews2.com. Winston-Salem Forsyth County school students and staff will be required to wear masks when they return to the classroom. Board members voted to require mask wearing for at least the first 9 weeks of the new school year. Leaders say the quickly spreading Delta variant was a big reason for the decision. Earlier this week, Guilford County Schools voted to also require masks for students, teachers, and school staff during the first quarter. The Randolph County School Board voted last week to make masks optional. Updated guidelines from the CDC recommend mask wearing inside all K-12 school buildings this fall. Well, today, President Joe Biden is expected to announce millions of federal workers will have to show proof they've been vaccinated against COVID. If they're unvaccinated, they will have to submit to regular testing, social distancing, and mask wearing. Today, you have a chance to help fix a critical need. Hospitals are in short supply of blood donations. That's why WFMY is teaming up with the Red Cross for a blood drive. WFMY News 2's Itanese McMiller find out about the need and how you can help.
You can save the lives of those in need of blood transfusions. There are people out here who need this blood to survive. So if you are in good health, come here to Piedmont Hall today between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. to give someone the gift of life. By giving, you can help stock hospital shelves. This allows blood to be available to patients facing trauma and other life-threatening situations. The Red Cross is accepting all blood types. They like to have a 5-day blood supply. There is one type in more demand at this time.
The one that is most often transfused, especially at times of emergencies, that's type O negative. At one point during the summer, we were seeing ourselves at a point where there was only a half-day blood supply. So as you can imagine, that makes it extremely critical for us to be able to call on individuals who are eligible.
To donate, all you need is some form of identification and be at least 16 years old. You don't have to be vaccinated to give, but if you are, make sure you know the brand of shots you received. That'll determine your eligibility. And if you show up to Piedmont Hall today, you'll get an Amazon gift card, even if you end up not being eligible. And you will also be entered in for a chance to win free gas for a year. Now, here's the details on the blood drive one more time. It'll be here at Piedmont Hall at the Greensboro Complex from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And you can make an appointment or walk in to donate. And you can find more details on WFMYnews2.com.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Who sings that? The Jackson 5. Come on, guys.
Yeah, Ed, didn't you know that? The Jackson
Didn't you
5?
know that?
Gosh, Ed.
Come on, Christian. I was waiting for you to say it.
I was really waiting for it to hit
I
me, and then
literally
I
went
could,
like
you
this.
know.
I couldn't think because I was just so struck by your voice.
That's the second time this morning that she's saying. Y'all missed the first one.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
In here laying it down.
All right, so are you feeling the heat? For this next conversation, we want to know, how are you staying cool? Are you avoiding the outdoors? Are you taking extra water breaks? Maybe pulling out a fan? Weigh in the comment section. So this was actually really funny. Saw this on social media yesterday.
What did you see on social media? Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But what you said was funny.
I said, sure, it looks nice, but the sweat was running into my eyes and it was burning. Listen, I sat in my truck. It was the most humid run I think I've ever been on. Why did I go running yesterday? Why? Why did I do that?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I was ready to be outside instead of being in the gym like I had the last couple of days. So I said, I'll go on a run. I'll wait till the sun starts to go down, till it starts to get cooler. But you can only wait so long when you have to go to bed early.
Yeah.
So I said 6 o'clock will be fine. I went out to Military Park in Greensboro off Battleground in the shade, but it was still just incredibly
And it was
incredibly
still
humid.
scorching
it was
hot.
just I was just drenched in sweat. It was running in my eyes. It was burning.
And it
Super
burns,
humid.
yeah.
Didn't
Super
you
humid.
consult with a meteorologist before you went out?
You should have
was-
consulted with yourself.
Ed was probably already asleep.
I
at
was
that
asleep.
point, so-
You know me. I got to get my beauty sleep.
Oh my gosh, I am probably my sleep exhaustion is probably catching up with me because I am talking and joking about things that I don't even. I was like, oh.
Somebody cut her off.
Cut me off. She's
Where's
had
that
one too
off
many.
switch? Okay.
Wow. I knew it was
No,
going to
we
catch
love
up with
it.
me.
You're entertaining,
So
Tracy.
if you want to find a way to stay cool,
Yes.
running is not it.
Yes.
No, okay.
Running is not going to
Bike
be it.
riding is not it either. I bike ride before the sun comes up on my days off. On this schedule, you can't do it. Of
Right.
course.
Yeah, you'd be biking at 2 a.m.
Yeah. I'd bike to work. That's what
The
I should
reason
do.
the reason I run is that so I can do the other thing that I do to stay cool, which is eat ice cream continuously.
Smart. There's a method to your madness.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
So the best way for me to stay cool is to go to the basement level of our house. It's 20 degrees cooler down there.
Hot
than,
air rises.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah, it
so
does.
I'm like, hey, let's go downstairs. I don't like being outside, especially in these temperatures, this humidity. I can't take it. So the kids are always like, Mom, let's go outside. And I'm like, and we'll set up the water things. We have a slide that you go down and the water squirts out. And then we have, the regular stuff. Forgot what it's called, but slip and slides and stuff like that. And we'll set it all up, and I'm just literally in the only part of the house that has some shade. And I'm watching. I'm like, hey, good job, kids. I cannot take.
Tracy's in the
it.
neighbor's yard over there under the trees. You look great. You're fine.
You're doing great, honey. Sipping my tea. I can't take it, but they love it.
Yeah. And it can make you sick. I was
can.
talking to a neighbor of mine yesterday, and this happened a week or so ago. He thinks his dog got sick from the heat. Just walking a few minutes outdoors, has black fur, so that absorbs, the heat from the sun and all that. And he was really afraid. Now, thankfully, the dog is okay. But my point being is it can sneak up on you, and you can be sick in an instant from the heat. So it can be serious. So what does Ed do to stay cool? I'm a cool guy anyway, but I knew I knew that would get Tracy. Well, I have two instruments. Now, on a day like yesterday, when I thought it was just out of control, I just stay in the house. Me and Rio stay in the house, keep the air condition on, and also I have ceiling fans, so I don't have the AC, turned down way low. I don't keep it really cold. But the ceiling fans and the AC combination, kind of refreshing in the house.
Yeah, gotta have the AC running. Although mine went out recently, and I had to get it replaced. And my husband was like, "That's a lot of money." I'm like, "Listen, I know."
Let me make this clear.
I know, but I'm like, this is one of those things that it's okay to dip into the emergency stash for, because this is what it is. It is an emergency. We're not going to be able to make it 3 nights in this house, but we did. We had to go 3 nights until we ordered it. It came in, and then right before the 4th of July, it was installed.
Wow.
And it's purring like a kitty now, so I'm really excited about that.
At least it wasn't this week.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was still
This-
hot, but
it was
not
still hot.
this. Yeah, not that hot.
It's so funny. It's every year, right? We expect it to be hot and humid like this every year this time in the end of July, but it doesn't make it any more enjoyable. it doesn't make it any easier to
and
go
you
outside.
don't really get used to it. I mean, we had this year after year after year after year, and sometimes it can sneak up on you.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? All of a sudden, boom, it's hot and humid and all that, and your body's going, wait a minute.
Yep.
You know.
All right, let's get to
All
some
right.
responses here. And Jason said someone hit Tracy's dump button.
It's not working, Jason.
Thank you, Sherry. She said Friday is coming, and I appreciate that. Joanne said staying in AC. I remember when we did not have AC. Anyone else? She also said, I'm old. I would have to say that you are experienced, Joanne. I think Joanne's in her 90s.
Wow. Congratulations.
I remember her saying that one day. So you are better than everyone else. How about that? Let's see. Nadine said, I grew up with no AC. I remember sweating myself to sleep. Whoa,
Ooh.
gosh. And then Sherry said, heat exhaustion is no joke. Jason, stop it. He said, what did y'all put in Tracy's coffee?
It's all the heat, I think,
It's
is
the
getting
heat.
to her.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, you know, some folks talk about growing up without AC, but in college up in Boone, when I was at App State, my first dorm had no AC because when they built them, you know, it was up in the mountains. They didn't expect it to get super hot. So during, you know, the spring semester, it would start roasting in there.
Wow, I
it.
bet.
Yeah.
Can't have enough box fans to cool that off.
That's right. And now they're actually tearing those dorms down as we speak, and they're building new ones with nice new air conditioning.
Thanks to your generous donation.
That's so much. That's where all my tuition
College
went.
tuition.
That would have been fans in the window. If it was been my donation, it would have been fans in the window. It wouldn't have been the nice air conditioning. But you know, how did people live without air conditioning? I
Just
mean,
that better tolerance, maybe?
probably so. You may be onto something
Yeah.
there. You know, better tolerance.
Yeah, they didn't have relaxed hair.
It's just like
know-
boing.
You know, we've been talking about this big deal heat wave out in the Pacific Northwest that's been happening over the last several weeks. And a lot of folks out there in Washington State and Oregon, they don't have air conditioning
Yeah.
either because
Yeah.
they don't get temperatures like this all the
Right.
time.
Yeah, they really don't.
Right. All right, guys, I think it is time to put my dump button to use. So let's dump into weather.
Okay.
all you.
I don't know what a dump is, by
One
the way.
more that I've got to read here.
Oh, yeah, please
Jason
do.
says, what did you guys put in Tracy's coffee?
Yeah, we read that.
Look,
already read that,
Look, Tracy has a wonderful personality. Okay?
Oh my gosh, I thought we were off camera.
She doesn't
Sorry, I'm
need.
here.
She doesn't need anything.
We still
in her
got one more
coffee.
day of this. You know that, right?
Yeah. I got to tell you about that one more day. Let's pop up the 7-day here before my producer comes in and gets me. We're on our way to the mid and upper 90s today. The heat index will be in the upper 90s to near 100. Mostly sunny, low 90s tomorrow, and then by the weekend a little cooler. A cold front will move through. Will actually cool back into the upper 80s and maybe a little less humid, but that front may kind of wiggle back to the north and give us an increasing shower chance and extra clouds, and cooling off by Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe highs only around 80, but extra clouds and a good chance of rain by then.
All right, guys, it is time to end this. We do have one more day to go, and I'll get myself together. We'll be back in professional tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching us on After GMS. Take care, everybody. We'll see ya.